Okay. What a beautiful day, wouldn't you agree? It truly is a wondrous and whimsical universe we live in. A universe comprised of many magnificent and fantastical pieces of mystery, intrigue, and knowledge, all seamlessly floating in a celestial plane of reality, all of it in some way or other connected and stemming back to the ever-prevalent concept of anime women. There are many who understand certain aspects and niches of the universe, if you will, though very few seem to be aware of how all of this existence and reality essentially came to be. That is something that I cannot tolerate. I've said many times of how I yearn to spread knowledge to the unknowing and ignorant. Thus, I am more than willing to explain the birth of the celestial women of the cosmos, purely and only and solely for science. Everything from moon girls to black hole girls, angel girls, void girls, star girls, planet girls, dark matter girls, meteor girls, anything can be an anime girl, remember that, and it all came to be due to one specific segment in time more than 10 billion years in the past. I think it is important to note that throughout this video I'm going to be expressing both factual and hypothetical circumstances, and that are at the very least intuitive in relation to the logic of the science realm. So, how did anime women, and in theory, your waifu, come into existence? It all started way back when all existence and what would become reality was contained in an incomprehensibly small speck of matter, so small that it was even smaller than an atom girl. It is unknown if the dot itself was an anime girl or merely just the encasing matter of all things. The only anime girl that my research has shown to me that was around at this time, and is actually one of the oldest anime girls to exist, is the Void Girl, sometimes referred to as Void-chan. It is believed before this point no anime woman existed. Quite a dreary existence, I'm aware of that. However, that would all soon change, as this mysterious dot, apart from being small beyond comprehension, it was also unbelievably hot and was full of energy. Many researchers and scientists believe and reason this to be a result of the anime girls being contained in a singular speck of anything. It's not hard to reason that if you were to take every single anime woman to at some point exist, or at the very least take all the energy needed for all the anime women imaginable to function, the amount of energy that would conjure would be unfathomably powerful. Eventually, somehow one may reason that with this much anime girl energy, this speck was bound to burst, and burst it did. The spurt then burst and expanded and very quickly began to cool and chill, causing the subatomic anime woman to form, and then not long after that, these subatomic particle specimens cooled to where they could actually become electron and neutron girls, and then leading to the formation of the atom women. This all transpired in less than 4 minutes, and then the atoms formed the hydrogen women, and not long after that, these atoms eventually cooled enough that they began to take shape into glorious celestial women of the cosmos that we know and appreciate, like the planet girls, star girls, moon girls, asteroids, and such. However, it would be countless millennia before they became the refined, accentuated balls of gas and crusty planets we adore and live on. It's worth noting that around this time, other galaxies came to fruition due to the ever-expanding universe. As you might imagine, in due time, things like the black hole girls and dark matter girls and antimatter girls and other more advanced anime girls started to take shape, partly due to various conditions and circumstances which we probably won't get into today, but one perplexing anime girl that is one of the most confounding and secretive also manifested around this time, at least I believe so with my research that I have collected, and that being the angel girl. It is not too wild of a notion to suggest, as angel girls are very much immortal celestial beings with no need to drink, sleep, eat, or even appear a specific way every time, and are beings that would likely be able to survive in such an environment, given the whole, heaven being a pocket dimension created by angel girls in space, but that's a topic for a whole nother video. Of course, where there are angel girls, you have to mention the demon girls, who I believe were the result of rebellion and contempt by certain angel girls that wanted to be more depraved and, dare I say, lewd. You see, angel girls being in some way lewd is not uncommon, believe it or not. However, most tend to keep it relatively safe. Those that would later be cast out by the angels from the angel-created heaven dimension to the demon-made underworld wanted more. In this way, the demon girls became their own thing, and contact with angels remained relatively non-existent for countless millennia. As with most things, however, the limit wanted to be raised even more into the extreme when certain demon girls wanted even more still. They wanted to fully give in to their carnal desires and depraved degenerate urges, and these demons would then later become succubi. Extensive research indicates that succubi were one of the first monster girls to appear that could technically be called monsters. This wouldn't happen though until humans were starting to become a thing, as humans are the preferred feeding option, and as a result I now have to explain what was happening with Earth-chan while all of this was going on. Well, you see, Earth-chan, in her early years, had a strong attitude and was quick to anger. I mean, she had burning hot hellish skin around this time, so it makes sense. Eventually, though, she became more chill, and through a lot of interspecies intermixing, humans became a thing. Human waifus became a thing through a lot of animal smashing, and then somehow over the course of a lot of smashing, this was an endgame result. It is highly suggested that all human anime women started as fish, and then one day, one of the offsprings of the fish became a main character and got to grow hands. The fish then came on land and smashed a mammal, and then somehow made an aquatic mammal hybrid. Then the specimen then smashed a monkey, and then that monkey's offspring smashed another monkey, and over time it created this. You see, all human anime women were monkey at some point. Now, you might be wondering of how one of the greatest variations of woman to ever exist came to be, which of course I'm talking about Monster Girl. So, Monster Girls are a rather tricky subject as they have two forms of DNA. They are both human and something else. And for a while, it was widely unknown how they got two strands of DNA. However, one theory that is for the most part accepted is that succubuses, being the first Monster Girls, or at the very least the first girl to be credited as a monster, had something to do with the creation of all Monster Girls. Perhaps when all the interspecies intermixing was happening during evolution, there were a couple subjects that strayed a little bit too far and started smashing more than those that would later become humans were smashing. And maybe, in somewhere along the line, a succubus happened to spread their seed and magic onto this developing human species, leading to the creation of this species with two interwoven pieces of DNA. One can only ponder just how many times this happened considering the amount of Monster Girls that there are. I also forgot to mention that as soon as any object started to have composition in space, the elemental girls started to form. And with human waifus and human women in general now being a thing, with their death, the birth of ghost girls and zombie girls then came to be. And that pretty much wraps up every single form of anime, waifu, or woman that I can think of, which then leads us to present day where we have a overabundance of anime women. And it, I personally feel, is rather glorious. If for some reason I managed to skip over your waifu, or I didn't touch on a specific kind of anime girl, then by all means, please list it in the comments. If you guys enjoyed this video, theoretically, if you have watched this far, then you do enjoy my videos, feel free to leave a like, subscribe, share this with your neighbor, high school teacher, and your wife, and I'll be back to answer another question that I'm inside is going to answer.